Hello YouTube, we are back with some commentary. I'm joined by TJ, my partner in crime. We're going to be going over 3 rounds from Dean's Dugout, which is where we had our locals this past weekend. Round 1 is going to be a rematch of the brothers and a rematch of a pretty popular video on our channel with Loogamon versus Brigadramon, or D-Brigade.
Yeah.
I think Mike's gonna hopefully redeem himself. We'll see. But it should be a good match. He's definitely been practicing with the deck, so I think Fenry is gonna have a little bit more of a better show this time around.
He's got a bite to it this time.
Yeah. We'll definitely have links to rounds 2 and 3 in the video description down below. Thank you guys for tuning in to this series. We really appreciate the support. And hopefully you enjoy the set. So without further ado, let's hop right into the round. But yeah, I'm excited to see Mike cook. He's definitely delved into purple a little bit more, I think, as we talked about before. So interested to see how he plays this out.
I'm wondering, because we're recording this as like right after some of like the more recent reveals and stuff, and like also hearing the news about BT-14 too. I'm curious to see what Loogamon support is going to be in 17, because it's supposed to get like its like final wave of support for at least for a while.
Yeah.
It should be neat. But to the match, we see both players just sort of setting up, searching. They have rookies in the back. They're getting the boards built. D-Brigade's doing D-Brigade things where it's just digging through the top, quarter of its deck. Just grabbing pieces and controlling what it wants to.
And we did see Mike also do the controversial Drakemon.
Yes.
We are still clarifying that ruling, but
the great Drakemon incident of 2023, as I've been speaking about recently. I apologize. Let's just get it out of the way now. I was wrong. I messed up. And folks, it's these things happen.
We live and we learn.
I'm human and I'm a dummy.
But we see Mike proc Lugamar's effect to pitch a card to gain a memory, then proc Balmon's effect to digivolve into Hell Lugar, which unfortunately hits a DCD bomb. But he's able to get 2 checks since he did declare alliance with the Drakmon. Then decides to just go back right into it, which is not a bad play. End of turn, he's able to spit out AG to gain 2 memory off of his inheritables, then draws 2. And I'm assuming we'll pitch at least 1 card.
Yeah, to pop one of the rookies over there. It does pitch an AG and a Loogamon, I think it was.
Yep. It's a pretty good, I think, beginning play from Mike here. He's able to set up his trash a little bit, get some early pokes in, gets an AG out on board. I mean, Will's also in a pretty good spot with the training and Commandra set up too. So both players have a pretty good start going. We see Mike's,
it's crazy how much gas Fenry has if it sees AG like turn 1.
Yeah. The problem is if you don't see AG, then you're just like a sitting duck. You
don't play the game. You're just crying because you don't have enough search to get him.
We see Will go Hi-Commandramon, go into Cargo Draw, cycles through, plays out a Numemon off of that effect, which should allow him to potentially slip a Satsuki. Yep. Nice. I
wonder if we'll get a Loogamon that like searches, like a searcher Loogamon.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
That can grab like AG and then 1 card with Dark Animal SOC in its traits.
Which is what it needs, honestly.
That would put it like, I mean, the deck's already super strong, especially after next set. So it'll just get crazier.
We see Mike playing out a Lugar off of Soul Lugar's effect to gain a memory off of Loogamon. So he's, I think, set up for some sort of play. We'll see if he actually procs it off.
Should be the explosive play that Loogamon
pitches the Fenry.
Go into it.
No, I will say, I think we talked about this multiple times too, like in our own testing, but that like when to declare alliance, I think is something we'll have to clarify with some folks too.
And admittedly, he does to declare alliance with the card that was already on the board.
Right.
So it could have just been like a late thing where he just didn't realize. Because to be fair to Mike, he hasn't really played a deck that used alliance before this. Like he didn't mess around with the Terrier Lotmon deck from EX4.
For sure.
Most of us didn't really because the deck was just not It would do its big alliance swing, and then it had no other gas. It was just that was it, and then it'd lose the game.
Shout out to Tyler.
It is because it is a fun deck, and alliance is a really strong keyword, and I think Fenry definitely shows just how powerful that keyword truly is.
I just like how alliance was used mainly for like terrier stuff, but like it like arguably got better support in purple.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wonder, what do you think about that new keyword collision on the Rammon or whatever it's called, or Sheepmon?
I like it. I think it's it's almost like sort of like redirect in a way, to a degree, but with a little bit of like... It's like raid at home, is what I've seen it described. Yeah. I like it. I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But to the match, we see kind of both players set up too. We've got Will with his Commandra that's swinging right now, able to cycle through. Unfortunately, doesn't hit anything.
Yeah, the whiff.
Which is unusual, but it happens. But he's able to kind of recuperate with a Satsuki and Nume play.
Yeah, you have plenty of cards in hand.
Yeah. We see Mike kind of cycle through with double Drax.
Just trying to find...
This is where I think the struggle is. If you're like not seeing AG turn 2, turn 3, you're like already super far behind, I feel like.
Yeah, and Will is just starting to climb already. Like he's got aggression on board. Mike's just kind of stuck waiting, hoping for an AG to come out of security, I think, really here. That's really all he can do. Spits up the Satsuki after playing the Black Mem boost.
There's an AG.
All right. Okay. Oh, he did have an AG in hand. Okay, so that's good.
Able to gain the memory, goes into Lugar. He can probably pull some shenanigans off. Opts to swing, pitching a card to gain a memory, then goes into it via Balmon's effect, declaring alliance. Swinging through checks. That 10k
10k
double check.
10k Hell Lugar just keeps on putting in work.
And that's something I like. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but I never really saw it, was like declaring alliance with anything but Fenry. I always like tunnel vision into just declaring my alliance plays with Fenry only.
Yeah.
But I keep forgetting that you could also just do it with the other stuff too.
Yeah. He's trying to decide what he wants to do to pass turn.
I think he's just afraid of how much memory Will's looking at.
Yeah, I mean, Will had some pretty good early setup, and that security check into the defense training is pretty rough. Ops just play Fasco, though. Gain the memory because of Dark Animal and traits.
Not bad, though. I mean, he's able to choke to 1, gets a Rush Gato and Trash, which is where you want to see those guys.
Yeah, not bad by any means.
Will does go to 2 because of Satsuki. Goes into cargo by cracking the training. What?
Yeah.
What?
And it just has to go into the Nuemon there for 1 cheaper cost. Because if he does it like this, he can keep turn, and he has protections on the stack, which is much better. Will debating on what he wants to take here. Checking his hand real quick.
That Vademon tech is scary. I don't like it when I see that.
It is neat.
That guy messed me up during pre-release.
Okay, does just go ahead and go into Brigadier there.
Oof, Jesus. Look at that board. Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point, Mike's in a pretty rough spot. You know, he doesn't really have anything on board. He's looking at Will being able to swing for, at the minimum, like 5 checks.
Yeah, and I think he has everything he needs in hand to do something, but there's just nothing you can do to answer this board state, really, short of like
a Death X.
You know what? I have to wonder if I need to see. Hold on. Let me do a quick little research video here.
Yeah, opts to play a Fangmon just to pull something out of trash and put something in, but I think at this point it's just hope and praise. But even with that, Fenry's security is always a little bit, you know, the only thing you're really going to get out of Fenry security, in my opinion, is just like more training cards or like your tamers. You're really not going to get much removal. So if you're gonna just be chopping away like Will's doing right now, like you're pretty much done.
Yeah, I wonder if there's almost a reason to try one Schwarz Versatz in it, because it's for each tamer
that you have.
In each tamer you play doesn't care about color. So for your analog youths and your AGs, which I mean, Fenry does normally run 7 or 8 tamers, so you figure you probably play at least 2 or 3 a game realistically, at least, because you're probably gonna play 1 AG, maybe 1 or 2 analog youths. So it's something that can pop a decent chunk of a D-Brigade board.
Yeah.
If it comes out of security, or if you need to play it, like hard drop it.
I mean, like as we saw with you and Gabe's like SecCon matchup, I mean Schwarz is just a nasty card for D-Brigade.
It's very nasty. It also, I mean, like with ace cards running around right now too, and all of the aces being level 5, that is, I mean, can make it a 3-drop option instead of a 6-drop.
Very, very true.
Depending on what you play it against.
We got a game 3. We start.
Yep.
Good start for Mike, getting a Rush God Twin Trash, has an analog youth setup, goes into Luga in the back. And Will responds by going into Hi-Commandramon and playing out a boost. Picks up a Brigade. Yeah.
Sorry, also random thought, but Schwarz kills Lucamon Chaos mode, which is just funny. They're like that powerful Digimon, because he's level 5, still technically Schwarz just goes pop.
Bye-bye.
So does Baldy Blow.
I thought about putting Schwarz in Hunters as well.
You can Baldy blow a fucking Lucamon. That's so funny. Anyways, Will's climbing up his line here. Sorry.
He climbed. He climbed. He did the thing.
Brigadra's there. End of turn, played out a Satsuki. And now, just, I mean, it's
that
a
was
Brigadra.
So fast, man. Holy shit. I mean, that's what, turn 3, turn 2, turn 3, getting into Brigadra.
And it's a Brigadra with protections too, so it's like, what do you
do?
Like, it's so hard.
Especially with Fenry, like, what do you do?
Fenry's only gonna have 1 pop really, when they and they have to try and delete something. Which, I mean, he can still do his whole thing, but he's not gonna have the DP to climb over. Part of the issue. Well, I guess with Alliance, actually, no, never mind. I'm capping.
Well, the problem too is like, you know, with Mike not having an AG, it seems like in hand or in trash. You know, he's just in a really rough spot. You know, he's gonna be able to pop the Commandra, but even if he targets the Brigade off of the Hell Lugar deletion effect, you're gonna be able to redirect it with Cargo's inheritable.
Yeah, so, I do wonder. Yeah. It's not Cargo's inheritable. It's the
Hi-Commandramon.
The Hi-Commandramon.
Yeah.
Which Cargo inheritable does go off. Top 3 can play Commandramon, so it just replaces it and then gets to search top 5.
Jesus.
Grabs a card with D-Brigade or Digipolice trait, and then returns the rest to top or bottom.
Camera,
then put them like that, back on top.
You can do it, camera.
Camera gets a little blurry. It can't handle the amount of board slamming that's happening right now. Someone's putting their shoes for free in the video.
We got a little Adidas sponsor going on.
Yeah. Hey, yo, hit us up. I'm just kidding. Ain't no way.
But yeah, I mean, it's just so crazy how fast Will was able to get into Brigade, and then now, I mean, he's able. Jesus Christ, he's able to.
He's got so much advantage.
Map his top 3, and then by end of turn, he's gonna be playing those guys out. Oh God, that's just nasty. Now, another thing too, and you know, I've seen this. I mean, we've both seen this playing against Anthony too. But we saw that there's a Death X in Will's hand right now, which I think Death X is just great in this format.
I agree.
For the mirror match, for Fenry, even for Yellow Vaccine to a degree too, with how many tamers they play out, Death X is just so good.
Yep.
Now, what do you think about Quartz?
Also, I mean, it's a great card. Well, I mean, like, are you asking if Quartz is a good option for a top end?
Yeah, in Brigade.
In D-Brigade, yeah. I mean, Rio runs it. Rio runs a Quartz instead of a Death X in his D-Brigade, and it's like, I think it is the more sort of affordable option to run as a level 7 in the deck, because I think you do want at least one of either of them in the deck.
Sure.
If not 2, or 1 in 1. Because Quartz can just like win you games off suspending a whole board, right, and then just trash. Especially because he counts every 5 cards on the board in general. So if you have like a crazy enough turn with D-Brigade where you wideboard like a madman, you could keep turn off of going into Quartz and swing for game, because you'll just trash enough security to just win.
Right.
Between the tamers, all the D-Brigade bodies, and all of your opponent's cards, depending on what they're playing.
For sure. Because I mean, here too, right? Like, I mean, I think Quartz here would be overkill per se. Because I mean, look at the board state. But like, if you knew that, for example, like he had a couple AGs set up and he was like ready to go next turn, like Quartz here would be almost like perfect.
Yeah, and I think something else to note too, like Bloom and Rose are both still good decks that even though they're not running around too rampant right now, they are scary. Like Rose can definitely cook. Bloom, I think, is definitely the scariest green deck still by far.
Yeah.
And I think Death X and Quartz both combat them. Like it works against both of them. Counters their game strategies. So I think right now we're definitely moving into a point in the meta where I think wideboarding is kind of like definitely making a solid comeback. Yeah, Will's just so much D-Brigade stuff here.
I mean, he's just popping off. He's like playing out Commandress. He's like pooping up more Commandress. He's swinging with Commandress. But yeah, I mean, that's
not much.
Yeah, not much Mike could do there. Just
he finally got the
early
AG last turn.
early game Brigade-ramon just set up was, I think, sort of death sentence for Mike over there.
He had it turn 2, right? Turn 2 or turn 3. He was just like already Brigadra, and then I think it was turn 2.
Yeah, I mean that's I think one thing that with Fenry, it's so good in terms of OTK potential. Like it can do so much, and it's still a really really good deck. I think it just struggles when like you can't OTK faster than your opponent. Then I feel like it doesn't have a lot of ways to respond as much as you would like. Yeah.
I agree. It's like it doesn't have it has one line of play that it's gonna do, and if it doesn't do that line of play, it loses the game. If it does do that line of play, it probably wins.
Yeah, which like I mean we saw Mike do a couple of times, right, with the Hell Lugar play where he's able to go swing and to turn like try to delete, but then with the Brigade having that protection from Hi-Commandramon, like what are you gonna do?
Yeah, this is a like. Fenry realistically only has the one pop on his one attacking effect, and it's not going to be enough to do something. So it's rough. And he has to delete something to unsuspend. So realistically, you don't even target Brigadra at that point. You target something else, and then you just try and swing.
Yeah.
And just try and do your extra checks. But it's a hard spot to be in.
And I mean, I think kind of alluding to one of the comments that was in the previous video of this matchup was like, you know, Commander's been around for a while now. This is our first like iteration of Fenry that we've seen, at least in the card games. So I think as people start to test it out more, we get more support in the future sets, like you mentioned. Like I think it's still going to be one hell of a deck. It still is a hell of a deck, but I think it'll just get better.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of eyes on the matchup and both of these decks right now in general because of how popular they are. But something to keep in mind is like what you said. Like D-Brigade's had support since BT-3. it's been around, maybe BT2 actually, maybe even. I don't remember when. I think BT3 is the earliest Commandramon, I'm pretty sure actually. But there's also the one ST5 as well. But yeah, it's had so much support, like here and there, just kind of dribbled into it over time. And Fenry we're just now getting, right. And then Fenry we know is getting support in 15. We know we're getting support in 17 apparently off of the recent leaks. So like Fenry still has a lot of stuff coming to it. Like this is just like the first wave of it, and it's already like this good.
Yeah. So I think it's a lot to look forward to for Fenry. I might try to tinker around with a build, but I just think deck space is just so tight that you don't have a whole lot of wiggle room. But we'll see. We'll see how things go.
It's just kind of limited right now too, with options that you have available to you. But
for sure. But I think good match overall. I think better showing from Fenry. I think Mike's getting a bit more of a hang of the deck, and Will's just well-oiled machine there with his Commandramons.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed round 1. We'll be moving on to round 2 in a quick second. So like I said, links to it will be down below. Please do check it out, and we'll see you over there. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.